Right, guys, so with us today we've got Rod Salka, 19 wins, 3 KOs, and lost 3 fights. How you doing, Rod? You doing well?
I'm doing well.
Now, Rod, first of all, right, you tend to fluctuate from £135 all the way up to welterweight. Could you expand on that for people, please? And like, how come you've fluctuated so much in weight classes?
I fought at 135 in my last fight, but I'm fighting at 140 this fight, not 147.
Right,
Welterweight's 147. I'm fighting a junior welterweight. It's 140.
so have you never had a fight at welterweight before?
No, I've never fought at welterweight. I fought as high as, I believe 143 catchweight.
Oh, right, okay, that's what I'm looking at.
It's a super lightweight title, yeah.
Right, cool. Now, everyone knows you're fighting Danny Garcia next. Now, as you know, not many people are giving you a chance, but in the past there's been like huge upsets, and Danny Garcia himself, he was a heavy favorite to win against Mauricio Herrera, and everyone thought that Mauricio Herrera gave him a huge, tremendous fight. How do you plan on causing this mega upset, and what are you going to be working on?
I plan on just doing exactly what I always do. I come out and I box. I'm fast. I have fast hands. I have fast feet. I throw a lot of punches. My defense is good. I plan on doing all that. And if he counters any of that or he adjusts for any of that, then I'll adjust as well. You know what I mean? I can fight on the inside and I can punch, but I've never had to do that up to this point in my career. I did a little bit of it in the last fight, but for the most part, I box and I like to pick my spots.
Right, for sure. Now, also, Rod, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the way this fight came along for you. Who approached you? I mean, did you hear Al Heyman wanted the fight? Danny Garcia wanted the fight? Who approached you, and how did the arrangements for this fight come along?
Golden Boy. I'm signed with Golden Boy. So they approached me and asked me if I'd be interested in the fight. Yeah, a lot of people are wondering because I'm not in the rankings right now, but I just fought in April, and you got a lot of. And the way the rankings work is they always take a couple months after your fight to get you in. Like they're always behind a couple of months. So I won the WBC title in April, and I also hold a WBA title that I've defended 2 times. So I'm eligible in both of those to be ranked, top 10. So they just haven't had a chance to get me in, but I'm pretty sure when the rankings come out this month, since that last fight was in April, that I should be in there this month. That was always the plan, and that's always the way it works. You can't win a fight and then the next day be in the rankings. It takes a couple months for them to catch up. So
for sure, I understand that.
As far as that goes, and people saying they don't know how that happened or who I am. I mean, I fought in April on Showtime. I fought in December on Showtime. So if you don't know who I am, then you must not really be watching boxing too much.
For sure, I understand that. Angel Garcia, right? He's a type of person, he's always clowned Danny's opponents. He's always given a lot of disrespect. No different for this fight. What's your opinion on Angel Garcia?
I don't know. I really don't even care what he says. He said a bunch of stuff at the press conference, but I honestly couldn't even what it meant. He was pretty all over the place. You know what I mean? I really don't know. I think he said Danny's going to come and destroy me. And something about Vietnam. That's really all I remember.
Now, Danny Garcia, he's had trouble against... he was severely struggling against Amir Khan until he got that one punch in. Lucas Matisse got his eye bust up, and Mauricio Herrera really put up a tremendous fight against Danny Garcia. Now, I'm not speaking from my own mind, but do you personally think that Danny Garcia is a little bit overrated?
I mean, the reason he gets away with it, he likes to punch when other people are punching. That's how he caught Amir Khan. I think Amir Khan's skills are better than Danny Garcia's. You know what I mean? His speed and everything. But what Danny Garcia has is he has really good timing and he has good power. And so what he did to Amir Khan is he would punch when he was punching. Lucas Matisse, I felt like he was just a little bit sharper than Matisse was. You know what I mean? And he did have the eye problem, so he's had things go his way. And then Herrera, he was in Puerto Rico, so he got the decision. But I mean, the only fight I felt like he really was losing or lost was the Khan fight. He was clearly getting beat. The Herrera fight, you can make arguments either way. The Matisse fight, he was probably winning, but you can make arguments either way. But Amir Khan really really was, he couldn't do anything with him. So he ended up catching him. Thank you very much. He ended up catching him, as he was punching, which was smart. I mean, he's a smart fighter. I mean, you're not beating all those guys and winning every fight all on luck. Nobody's that lucky. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think that there's a lot of things that you can take away from those fights to put together a good game plan. So every fight he fights, the next fighter has a little bit more to go off of to be successful.
Yeah. Now, Rod, I saw you fight against Canelo's brother, Ricardo Alvarez. I saw your fight against him, and I personally felt you won the fight. A lot of people felt you won that fight. And, had you been given the win, I think you'd be, I think that you'd be not as disrespected as you have been in against Danny Garcia. You've been really disrespected in this whole Danny Garcia build up. I've yet to do a video on it. This is my first time I'm talking about Danny Garcia and yourself. Do you feel that you won that fight against Canelo's brother?
Yeah, I definitely did. And like I said, I'm getting like, I started late into boxing. So every fight, I learn so much and get so much better. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like I was at my best even in that fight against Alvarez. But I definitely won the fight. I mean, they obviously had plans for him, and you know how it's political. Like he was supposed to fight Figueroa in his next fight for the title, but Figueroa got hurt. So I'm with you on. I don't get why I'm being so disrespected going into this fight, but I mean, I fought two really good fights on Showtime. Granted, it was Show Extreme main event and a Showbox main event, but you got to come from somewhere. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people are putting a lot too much creed into the losses. Where I had the other two against Guillermo Sanchez and Doran Spivey, and again, both of those losses were in people's hometowns off television, and I felt like I won those more so than the Alvarez fight. You know what I mean? But you know how boxing is. So I kind of have a record that would say, "Wow, this kid has 3 losses." But in my mind, I haven't lost a fight in my career.
Either way, whichever way you swing it, Danny Garcia is going to be a heavily touted favourite in this fight. But we've seen, I was watching you some training of you, and I saw the fight against when you fought Ricardo Alvarez, and I feel like you've got very fast hands, which surprised me. I didn't expect you to have such fast hands. And when I was watching close up, I was thinking to myself, Danny Garcia is a really slow fighter, and he throws looping shots. So I would not be surprised if you pulled off the upset. A lot of people have totally written you off. I haven't totally written you off on my channel at all yet. I think in the sport of boxing, anything can happen, and BoxRec doesn't explain the be all end all of it. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't write anybody off at any time, but I think if you do your research and you watch like you said, videos online, or if you've seen my last couple fights on Showtime or anything like that, then there's no way that you can't see that I have the style and the speed that could definitely give him problems and win the fight. I think a lot of people get caught up in the BS and like to get caught up in the politics of it because of Al Heyman and Oscar De La Hoya and all that stuff with the, there's a lot of bad blood right now. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But all I'm going to do is I got stuck in New York here an extra day because of weather, but I'm going to go back home today and get back in the camp and just work on everything that I've been doing my entire career up to this point.
To be honest, though, Rod, I think this is the final thing I just want to say, and I just want to ask your opinion on this as well. I think the main reason people are angry, including myself, I was very angry when Danny Garcia announced the fight with you, was because we wanted to see him face someone like Lamont Peterson, or there was a rematch with Khan available at 147, or maybe a match with Matisse. Do you feel he's ducking them fighters? And he's going for what he sees an easy option. Do you feel he's ducking them fighters, and Herrera as well, Mauricio Herrera as well?
Yeah, I get it. I get why the fans. I get that angle. That angle to me makes sense. On people wanting to see other fights, but what you can't have is Danny Garcia. I mean, like, everybody wants to see these rematches, and then what you end up having is you have the same guys in the weight class that just keep fighting each other and and it leaves no room for any up and coming people to break through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So every now and again, you have to give. I mean, Danny Garcia hasn't given anybody, any underdogs, a chance. He's been fighting all those guys that have been fighting the same guys and making millions of dollars for years now. You know what I mean? Amir Khan fought everybody, so everybody wants to see him fight still, but then that leaves no room for anybody else to make a name for themselves and to come up and make any kind of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think in history, when you look at previous fighters in history, a lot of them have had losses against, people against people with lower opposition. But them fighters have then gone on and built themselves up and become all-time great. So I think in boxing,
Oh yeah, I
records
mean
don't really say anything.
Pacquiao lost a couple fights in the Philippines and was knocked out before he came over here and made a name for himself. Bernard Hopkins lost his pro debut. It's more often, very rarely do you see people that are undefeated, and usually when you do, it's because they were brought up from their first fight with a major promoter and carefully moved. You know what I mean? The fighters that aren't usually end up going to people's hometowns and losing decisions and kind of having things like that happen to them. But it is what it is. I knew that was my path whenever I turned pro. But I'm still here. I'm still fighting for the Undisputed World Championship on Showtime August 9th. So it doesn't, I think everybody can say whatever they want to say. I'm still here. I'm still fighting. The fight's happening. So, I guess we'll just kind of have to wait to see what happens. And if I win the fight, a lot of people are an apology, and if not, probably a lot of people are going to say I told you so.
Well, Rod, either way, we're with you all the way at Be Real TV. Wish you the best of luck in your fight. It takes a lot of guts and balls to step in a ring at the end of the day. And a lot of boxing fans don't understand that who haven't stepped in the ring yet.
Oh, yeah, man, I appreciate it. I really appreciate being able to do this interview with you. I'm glad that you called. If there's anything I can do with you in the future, just let me know. I want to give a shout out to everybody out there in the UK too. Hopefully some people are listening to this and become fans. I can use all the support I can get online. They're bashing me right now. So if anybody can log in there and help me out, I'd appreciate it.
Right, Rod, thank you very much.
The ESPN show last night with Teddy Atlas. But again, man, I appreciate it. And look out August 9th because I'm going to take 3 titles off of Danny Garcia.
Are you going to do a Buster Douglas on Mike Tyson style?
Yeah, we'll take it back to 1991.
Right, Rod. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much, and I wish you the best of luck in the fight.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.